Hello and welcome to a 1v1 cast. Starting off, we have at the bottom side GuruSkippy playing as the Kommando Knob, and on the top side we have a Big Mathis playing as the Hive Tyrant. Map is going to be Fedred Folly. And starting off, Big Mathis is going to be starting off with double Homogons instead of a single Homogon double Termagon build. Could see double Termagons to follow this up, or it could just even be a single Termagon squad. But double Homogon is going to be providing him a loss of map control in the early game until GuruSkippy can actually have something to counter this much melee. But Big Mathis still need another 50 to 60 requisition in order to get some more Termagons. Termagons did receive a price cost increase in the most recent patch from 240 requisition to 260, and Slugger's going to be half engaging these Homogons here. They look very reluctant to actually go in, using their sluggers to actually hit them from range. The Homogons not really taking any damage whatsoever. The slugger pistols only doing 1 DPS per model. The slugger still reluctant to actually go in. The second set of Homogons has now been seen here by Guru, and will decide to actually back away from the top side of the map, as Big Mathis actually has all of his units on the top side of the map and in the middle of the map with the Hive Tyrants. The Kommando Knob free on the right hand side to actually cap wherever he wants, and the second set of Termagons is actually getting built right now for Big Mathis after he's placed down his power node. And GuruSkippy is going to be going triple shooters here. Some very heavy tier 1 builds from both players with 4 squads each rather than the normal 3 squads. The Hive Tyrant going to be landing, especially their sluggers only having 60 melee skill. Hive Tyrant with 70, although the sluggers do actually avoid the special twice in a row now, and these triple shooters should be able to tear up these Homogons and be able to do some decent damage. There's Hive Tyrant as well. The Kommando Knob needs to come from the right hand side and actually join this fight. I think he's now done at capping that side, so should make his way down. And some spore mines getting built here by Mathis just in case there are any units occupying buildings as such, or it's very common for Tyranids anyway to build spore mines, especially against Orks. Orks are very vulnerable to spore mines. Although after going double Termagons, double Homogons, you don't normally see it as much. But Stun Bomb going to get thrown down, going to be catching out these Termagons, but the Homogons are free to type that Kommando Knob. The Hive Tyrant still tanking so much damage, and the Homogons on the left hand side are going to get forced away. The Termagons are going to be backing away, and these Homogons are also going to be backing away. The triple shooters doing a lot of damage even without their upgrades, and some of the looters going to be coming out here for Guru. Map control looking quite red right now in the mid and top side of the map. Meanwhile, the bottom side is remaining fairly blue, but Guru losing his natural requisition point and losing his natural requisition farm. We'll have to recapture those up before moving out once again, and the spore mines are currently exiting out of Big Mathis' base right now, and everything is in base reinforcing and healing, with the exception of these Termagons that are still on the field with their Toxin Sack upgrade. And given that Mathis has actually upgraded his double Termagons already, could see, I don't think that we'll see warriors, since he would have had the requisition for that if he hadn't bought it, so it could be some Raveners instead once he puts down some extra gens. The Hive Tyrant is going to be upgrading himself with the extended carapace, allowing him to charge in. This will be the counter to those looters, so maybe not Raveners in the end. Maybe you're just going to stick with this and then call in warriors in tier 2, but Stun Bomb going to be landing here. Looters are set up in the face here, and there's just so much range damage coming in. The Hive Tyrant is going to be charging over his own Homogons as well, but at the same time going to be hitting that massive Orc blob. Stun Bomb no longer available, was used earlier. Homogons still on the field though, and Termagons are trying to get tied up there by the Kommando Knob. Looters going to reset up as well. They do actually have amazing point blank damage, but unable to actually finish off a salve as the Hive Tyrant just ties them up, and GuruSkippy is going to be forced off from this engagement. The Hive Tyrant is just going to be a bit too tanky for him to actually deal with, and unless you're very lucky, it's going to be very difficult to actually land a Stun Bomb in a Tyrant guard or a Hive Tyrant who's a mid-charge. So if he actually is able to land a Stun Bomb mid-charge point blank in range of the looters, it's going to get the Hive Tyrant killed, but you need to be very good with your timing to actually do that, given that the Stun Bomb does actually have a timer. The spore mine still on the top side of the map, going to be preventing Guru from having his sluggers really do too much, although the spore mines have now seen these slugger boys, and the slugger boys are going to be pulling out of there. Meanwhile, the triple shooters in mid with the Kommando Knob going to be doing so much damage. These Termagants be able to bleed so many models here. bbboscasts could easily go up though in mid as well for Big Mathis to actually gain some control of mid, or to help him keep control of mid instead with his Termagants and Homagants. And Raveners are going to get purchased here for Mathis. Wants a secondary unit to probably try and disrupt this massive ranged blob hit. The Homagant's going to be again suppressed here. Triple big shooters hit for Guru, but no shooter boy knobs yet. Hive Tyrant doesn't actually have anything to, well, stealth or infiltrate in tier 1, so there is actually no need for the shooter boy knob, but the shooter boy knob does provide some tankiness though, which is always useful. The triple shooter blob going to be so powerful here with the big shooter upgrade. So much range, so much dakka. And the looters set up on his right hand side wants to prevent these Homagants from actually going for a power bash, but the looters are unable to actually go in any further without getting caught out by the Homagants themselves. These spawn mines though are going to be using some yellow cover, going to be absorbing a lot of damage, and then will be getting killed. The triple shooter blob going to get forced off those. Raveners did actually burrow on top of them, but they were able to actually retreat away before they were able to actually get that knockback, saving multiple models, since they're all still on the full models right now. And Slug's going to be on that right hand side capping up. Looter's going to be repositioning to actually defend the power farm now from the big push coming in from mid. GuruSkippy though ahead in terms of power by about 40, might be the first person to tech up here. Hive Tyrant going to be charging in here. Looter's just going to be retreating away, although the Looter's still getting knocked over even though he retreated away, which is a bit curious to see. But the Homagant's going to be coming in. The triple shooters now coming in here as well. That Hive Tyrant actually not taking too much damage from the triple shooters given how much damage they're actually laying out, but yeah, Brood Nest has also gone up in mid as well, and Sluggers could actually go in for a sneaky power bash if Big Mathis continues to just hold in this area, since Sluggers can always upgrade to their burners. Kommando knob is coming in here. Ravener's going to be burrowing here, going to be knocking back those shooters, or when shooters back away, going to get knocked back towards their base rather than towards the enemy, and a really nice stun bomb is going to prevent a lot of units from actually being able to follow up that Ravener burrow. Looters also set up, or were set up there for a second, but actually unset up there. Kommando knob having an extremely nice retreat path. He could have retreated through all those melee units, but actually retreated and took the sensible routes back home. Not that you already have much of a choice on where your unit retreats to. But GuruSkippy going to be falling back to base once again, but still his generator farm is intact. Big Mathis still only on one generator, puts down another 2 generators now, but Sluggers are coming in. Sluggers without their burners, so won't be able to burn down this generator farm, but we'll be able to do some decent melee damage. And Guru, probably seen that, decides not to get the burns, just go straight for tier 2 and maybe try and get a Death Dread out and try and gain a lot of map control and bash generators with that instead. 410 VPs, 388 VPs are even right now, but GuruSkippy should actually have a bit of a decent tech advantage given that he did have triple generators for so long in comparison to Big Mathis. 30 power while in tier 2 compared to only 77 while in tier 1. It's going to take a little while here for Mathis to actually hit tier 2, and these Sluggers might get a bit greedy here, decide not to get greedy, decides to just retreat away instead, and good choice because you don't really want to lose your Sluggers just to risk killing a generator. I'm going in, taking a lot of damage though, is forced off almost instantly. Down to 4 HP, the triple shooters come back in to try and scare the Raveners away, but I don't think they would actually be able to get him at 4 HP onto the Kommando knob. No armor upgrade either, so that's just with the default health and health regen. And Looters on that right hand side going to be defending the bottom side of the ground from a flank, or defending anything coming from the bottom side of the ground rather. And a second Brood Nest is going to be going down. Tank Buster is very effective at killing Brood Nest come tier 2, but a War Truck is going to be coming out for Guru. Would have expected to see a Death Dread instead, but maybe he's scared that Big Mathis is going to be tier 2. The Slug is going to get fully upgraded here with a War Truck. Is going to provide a lot of map control soon. As soon as that War Truck comes out, Slug is having so much mobility with the truck, using it as a transport to ferry them around. And Sluggers with a knob going to be extremely effective against, well, everything really. More effective against warriors since they're heavy infantry, but very effective against Termagants and Homagants. The Slugger knob is going to provide so much tankiness and so much damage to the squad, plus the swamp ability, which would be really nice at trying to close the gap in against Raveners and also Termagants. but already big engagement going to go down. Ravener's going to be burned onto the shooters. Sluggers are inside the truck right now. For some reason they entered the truck. That truck's actually taking a lot of damage from just pure melee damage right now. Shooters going to get quite low, going to get forced off there by the Hive Tyrant. Sluggers exiting the vehicle, going to be fighting these Homogons once again. Homogons getting suppressed. Shieldboy is going to be barely able to get away with one model. Ravener's taking too much damage here. Down to just 2 models. Homogon's taking a lot of damage. The truck is still in the air. The truck needs to actually come back in so the Sluggers can reinforce off of it. Homogon's going to be able to get away here. In fact, that's going to be a full retreat here for Guru. The World Truck not providing as much of a tier 2 impact as he may have thought. And the truck is in fact actually low, down to 65 HP. Mathis was actually able to force that off with just tier 1 units, and those are going to be some dead looters that are getting caught out by some Homogons, and they to actually suppress them at all. Stun bomb going to get thrown down onto the Termagons, catching out both squads here. The Kommando is going to try and force melee to here, and now this capillary tower is going to indicate to Guru that Big Mathis is now tier 2. The double shooters trying to come in here from the bottom side. Truck coming in once again has been slightly repaired up by some sluggers, but not fully repaired. Might be able to get a kill onto these Homogons here, but the sluggers going to be focusing down that Hive Tyrant instead. Homogons will be able to get away. Kommando down to the lower ground to actually try and cap that up, and that brood nest really needs to get taken out. And a Tyrant guard is getting built here for Big Mathis. Triple shooters might be able to upgrade to the triple shooter knob. The triple shooter knob comes here to actually provides a 15% damage boost to the squad. Might be worth looking into getting that upgrade for all squads, but the problem is that it does actually cost 75 power to actually get all those upgrades in total. But you have a lot of dakka in doing so. But given that Tyrant guard is out, maybe an AV counter. Sluggers with the Slugger knob will be able to do fine against the Tyrant guard. Problem is that there are also 2 Homogon squads and a Hive Tyrant, which is going to be a bit too much melee for the Slugs to actually handle on their own. A shotgun upgrade onto the Kommando knob would also be a really good upgrade against the amount of Termagons and Homogons on the field. The amount of rending damage from the shotgun blast will actually be able to force off a squad or 2 at the very least, and this truck can't seem to decide if it wants to go onto the higher ground or if it just wants to mess around in the middle ground. It has made so many twists and turns that it's actually unsure of where it wants to go, but it looks like it wants to go up here. Slugger's going to be exiting the vehicle, going to be jumping onto these Raveners who are forced to retreat away straight away. Homogons could actually be the next focus here. Big Mathis is going to be regrouping in mid with the rest of his forces and pushing in. Shooter's going to be onto the side and capping, and the Kommando knob is going to be making his way to the generator farm, although without any weapon upgrade or without... or even with a weapon upgrade come tier 1, tier 2, Kommando can't really do too much to a generator farm anyway. Stick bomb is going to be the choice here for Guru, and that's going to be a really nice choice against these double Termagons, double Homogons. There's a lot of things to actually hit in AoE here, and the truck is driving towards the generator farm, and Big Mathis is forced to actually move away from mid to try to defend his generator farm, although the truck looks like it might just be baiting it out here, and the truck is just going to be driving towards the lower side of the ground. Might regroup with these triple shooters who are trying to push in here with the stick bombers. Stick bombers have a decent opportunity here to actually land a nice AoE bit of damage here. In fact, they're going to go in, going to be hitting these Termagons. Termagons not moving at all. And the squad gained away with 4 HP, 1 model out of 9, so we'll need to pay a little bit of power to actually reinforce that second model, since they do have their tier 2 upgrade to have 10 models instead of 8. Kommando was also able to actually finish off that one generator that was very low from earlier. Generator hadn't repaired much, or hadn't regened up much energy, health even, not energy. Shooter still on this left hand side, needs to move over to the next VP as well. Kommando knob on that low side of the ground still. There's still no shotgun upgrade. I really think a shotgun upgrade would help out so much here. Kommando knob might be able to enter this building in fact and actually hold against these double Homogons here, but at this point I think he should just retreat away against those double Homogons since they've got a decent surround on him. Tank busters here for Guru as well. Should that Tyrant guard enter a shield wall formation, it should go down. Slugger's going to be engaging Tyrant guard. There's no Homogons nearby. Venom cannon onto the Hive Tyrant, but the Hive Tyrant not focusing down that war truck. The Hive Tyrant going to be taking a lot of damage here from those Sluggers. Termagons going to get knocked over by the missile barrage. Raveners jumping in onto these tank busters. And shield wall formation has now been entered by a Tyrant guard. Termagon's going to be able to barely get away there. 35 HP. Slugger's going to be switching focus to those Raveners instead. And Hive Tyrant still taking a lot of damage here from these shooters. Warrior's going to get called in here as well for Big Mathis. and don't know if the Warrior's going to have too much impact here. These sluggers still reinforcing here. In fact, Guru is actually going to be backing away completely from this engagement. Tyrant Guard is going to live. Kommando Nob did go down to these double Homgons here. They didn't actually retreat away in time. And Tyrant Guard is going to be here in shield wall formation, healing up very nicely in mid. 286 VPs, 307 so far. A fairly even game in terms of VPs. And so much death has just gone on throughout the map between the Orks and Tyranids here. Warrior's going to be upgraded with the Adrenal Glands upgrade. Stick Bomb's going to be focusing down at that Tyrant Guard. Warrior's taking a bit of damage here. Do need to be careful of sluggers. Their power melee with the 2 burner models, and also the Nob is going to be very effective at popping models, and you really don't want Synops bombs to be going off inside your army. In fact, the sluggers are focusing down Tyrant Guard. I think they should focus down those Warriors. They had a perfect opportunity to do so there. In fact, the sluggers going to be a bit overwhelmed here. Tyrant Guard is still remaining alive. Tank Buster Barrage going to the right of the Tyrant Guard. I think if they actually hit the Tyrant Guard, it might have been able to kill it. Sluggers still focusing down that Tyrant Guard. They should just focus down these Homogons at this point. They're so low right now, and they might be able to get away there. 6 HP. Mathis has been quite fortunate this game in terms of his squads getting away at very low HP. There was the Homogons from earlier at 4 HP, and now there's the Homogons here at 6 HP. But Stick Bomber should be able to finish off this squad of Homogons. Sluggers on retreat path of these Homogons, and they will be going down. One less melee squad for Guru to actually worry about, and Shooter's going to be forced away from the top side here. Did take away a few Termagant models before going down, but the Slugger Nob has also gone down at the same time. Stick Bombers onto the Tyrant Guard. I really want this thing to die, but it's just regenerating so much energy at this point, or regenerating so much health. I keep saying energy instead of health. It is regenerating an insane amount, but a single Tank Buster squad is not actually enough to deal with it. When it's in a shield wall formation, it does have vehicle armor. When it's in normal formation, it does actually have super heavy infantry, which is why the Sluggers are so effective against it. But come the shield wall formation, Sluggers not as effective against it since they only do 15% damage to it. That Tyrant Guard is just providing so much map control right now. Kommando Nob's still dead as well. I think it should... Okay, he actually gets repurchased as I mentioned him. I do think that he should have got repurchased. I do think that he should actually get the shotgun upgrade. I really think that he should get the shotgun upgrade. It's just such a good upgrade to not have on the Kommando Nob, especially against a blobby race such as Tyranids. BbBoS even going to go down. This Tyrant Guard, Big Mathis is using this Tyrant Guard almost as a base or a point of fighting. Needs to try and force off the Tank Busters. Tyrant Guard at this point could probably easily walk away here at this point. It does have over 1000 HP, could walk back to base. Could even just keep him in a shield wall formation really to really annoy Guru at this point, because it is just managed to stay there and be so annoying throughout the entire game, or throughout the entire time it's lived. The Homgon's going to be able to barely get away there with 40 HP. The Kommando Nob onto that right hand side, and Mathis with his Hive Tyrant on that left hand side. If the Sluggers arm themselves with the Slugger Nob once again, maybe keep those onto the left hand side and actually use them for capping purposes, since they should be able to fight the Hive Tyrant now that he's got a Venom Cannon rather than his default weapon or a tier 2 weapon or a Rending Talons upgrade. All the units going to be entering that truck here and going to be making a push in. There's another Brood Nest for them to actually take out the Kommando Nob, but does need to make sure that he retreats away this time on the lower side. Is infiltrated right now, but Warrior is going to be able to detect that. All the units exiting that truck to actually kill the Artillery Tower and the Brood Nest. Kommando Nob really needs to retreat away. Isn't going to retreat away in time. He isn't going to go down. Very unfortunate that the Warriors actually able to get the leap in before he was able to actually get out of there. Stick Bombs on that left hand side though. Truck could go in for a snipe against this Hive Tyrant, or go in for an attempt to actually force him away. And Guru on a lot of power right now. Big Mathis is going to be taking up to tier 3 as well. 210 VPs to 291 here. Slugger's going to be exiting that truck. That truck's taking a lot of damage in fact, but Slugger's able to actually get high up onto that Hive Tyrant. This Hive Tyrant is definitely going to go down here. Retreats away a bit too late, and both commanders going to be down for the count. But the truck in need of some repairs, and Sluggers I think still in need of a Slugger Nob to lead them. During some farm here for Guru, in risk of going down, but he is definitely not in risk of losing any power, to be honest. He has 420 in the bank. Doesn't actually need any more than that, to be honest, unless he wants to go in for a massive tier 3 purchase. And even then he hasn't actually got enough to take up to tier 3 and buy a Battle Wagon, and still have a little bit left over for that Slugger Nob that he needs up top. But Stick Bomb's going to get forced off here. Did try and do a bit of AoE damage against this Tyranid blob that were trying to come for the power. That Tyrant Guard still in the exact same spot throughout the entire game. In fact, it's actually leveled while it's been in shield wall formation because it's been in the combat zone for so long. It's actually leveled. But some more Stick Bombs going to be going down. Going to be slightly off to the right there, but doing some decent knockback damage. Shooters though unable to actually pick up a model here. Just so much health on these Termagants and Homagants, given that there are the Adrenal Gland Warriors in the area, which give extra bonuses. The tank burst going to be focusing down that shield wall. Tyrant Guard Slug's going to be exiting the vehicle here. The problem is that they don't actually have the Nob Leader. They're going to be very ineffective in combat without it in tier 2. And in fact, they're actually going to be going down. The Warriors and Homagants going to be a bit too much. Everything's going to enter the war truck here. Needs to actually drive out of the area. But in fact the truck is stuck here, but it looks like things the Warriors are going to be able to kill that down. Shooters also getting knocked over in a retreat. The Homagant's going to be able to do enough damage to actually finish a single squad, I believe. And that one squad of shooters I think is going to be going down. Stick Bombers coming in, some shooters coming back in the area. Shooters going to get away with 20 HP. Some very nice combination there of the suppression with the Stick Bombs. Going to be doing some nice damage to the melee units here. But Raven is still in the area. And Guru is going to be forced off overall. Tyrant Guard's missing. Tyrant Guard's actually exited shield wall formation and has now made its way towards the base. And that brood nest might go down. Tank Busters could actually do a barrage to try and kill that if they have a vision of the area. And they are, so I don't think that's going to be enough to actually finish it off with the Raven. It's going to be able to force off the Weird Boy and these Tank Busters. Weird Boy actually using Warp Vomit for just Ravenous here. The brood nest has gone down. The shooters are in the area. This one shooter on just one model probably needs to get some reinforcements for his squad. 170 VPs to 255. A Carnifex is getting built here for Mathis. Meanwhile, Guru is actually taking up to tier 3 himself. Does actually have enough for a Orks. In fact, 717 red. Big Mathis only on 289. Could see without number for Big Mathis, although he doesn't actually have the population cap for it right now. Actually, he does. I think it only costs 16 pop total for another set of Homagants and Termagants. Could be wrong about that. I'm just assuming it's 8 pop since I think it's 1 pop per model, but I'm not too sure about that. The Stick Bomb's going to be doing some nice range damage. In fact, Big Math's actually able to avoid it by just moving forward. Stun Bomb's going to be going down. Weird Boy doesn't have the Warp Vomit available apparently. It might be on cooldown from earlier. It's going to be forced off. Looked like he was about to cast Zap there, but actually cancelled it. Tank Buster's going to be retreating away here as well. Everything getting quite low here for Guru. Not really sure what Guru is going to be buying in tier 3, but he needs to actually get something out fairly soon. Problem is he doesn't actually have the requisition to buy anything in tier 3 because he's reinforcing all the stuff that he's got in tier 1, tier 2. 104 VPs, 255. Tyrant Guard is still not back up to full health, but is still level 2. It might be joining this next fight though with the Carnifex coming in at the same time. Carnifex could upgrade to the Barb Strangler since it's so effective against infantry blobs. In fact, he's actually got the Barb Strangler already. Termagant's going to be able to barely get away there. The suppression coming in from the Carnifex is going to be able to save him. The Weird Boy going to Warp Vomit here, going to be cashing out some Homagants on that right hand side. Are going to be some shooters as well to try and cap up that area. And the Tyrant Guard back into combat now. It was in shield wall formation for so long and is now ready for another fight. Now that sluggers have gone down, there's not actually much to really answer it, to be honest. Tank Busters will be able to do okay against the Tyrant Guard, but the sluggers with the Nob Leader is really what's needed to actually force it into a shield wall formation into the first place. Stick Bomb's not counting there for the elevation, going to be missing those Termagants and going to be doing some damage to those stairs. And shooters on these right hand side do need to be a bit careful. There's a big flank coming in here. Meanwhile, on the left hand side is going to go in for the Tyrant Guard and the Hive Tyrant. The Carnifex is coming in here, is going to suppress that entire army. Going to be a full retreat there, but these shooters are going to be in risk of going down. 40 VPs now for Guru. Things are looking fairly grim for him. Unable to get a tier 3 unit out in time. Doesn't actually have the requisition to do so. And GG has been called. That Tyrant Guard though, just not dying to a single Tank Buster squad and providing so much map control, and as mentioned in the chat as well, the Tyrant Guard winning the game there. It was interesting to see a Tyrant Guard have such an effect on the game really. But the Barb Strangler Carnifex going to be sitting here fighting that ranged blob. and tank busters will be able to kill it. GG has been called though, but Big Mathis still needs to actually go around and cap the map up so he can actually win the game through VPs, since he still has 40 more VPs to bleed of Gurus. But I'm going to assume that this is going to be game. Big Mathis is going to be able to take it in. So much death on this map. If I look through mid and turn the fog of war off, I don't know if you can see a timer, but the game's about to be over. You can just see that there's not actually many bodies that I thought, but then the bodies do actually, what's it called, they now disappear rather than actually stay there permanently in order to work better on people's PCs who have a less powerful PC, so it doesn't actually clog up their PC basically. But that's going to be game, and Big Mathis is going to be able to win.